Alright, so it's time to take a look at Kislev and building a quick generic list that we can modify to play our first couple of games and learn how to do domination. I'm Chris, and this is Game Chambers. So we want to start with the basics of our list for domination. So we want our capture weight units. For Kislev, your best ones to start with are going to be your armored Cossars. We will add some normal Cossars later, but we'll see how we're going as we get further into it, because we only need more than 5 points. We want to have our nice, cheap, resilient Lord. So we want Castalton. We're going to throw him on a Warbear, because as you can see, the Warbear significantly boosts his health and his armor and his speed. All three stats are very good for making him survivable. Now, like all other Lords, I recommend initially removing everything and then only adding back in what you're actually going to need. So do we need bonus damage? No, we just want him to survive. Towards battle him, it's good, but we're not worried about it at this point in time. We might pick it up if we have some points left over. Salyak Lullaby. That is what we need to survive. So we're looking here. Vigor, no. Charge bonus leadership, no. Flaming attacks, melee attack. See, the leadership there does add a little bit to survivability, but we're not too stressed about that at this point. Same with the Courage of Sacrifice. Again, it's adding quite a significant amount of leadership, so it does make him stick around a lot longer. But Kislev has an unbreakable passive, so when they do lose their leadership initially, they'll stay unbreakable for 30 seconds. And this is the other one that we want. Urston's Ward, when he gets below 25%, he gets quite a significant regeneration. So that's it. You can see we've managed to pick him up for 1550. So we have a bunch of capture weight, we have a cheap, resilient Lord. Let's get ourselves a caster. Probably the best one for Kislev to start with, where you don't have to worry too much about what you're doing. It's going to be an Ice Maiden with the Heart of Winter. The Heart of Winter is a stationary spell that will do massive damage to everything in an AoE, and it'll also slow them, and it doesn't affect friendly troops. You don't have to worry about friendly fire, you don't have to worry about being that accurate with your targeting. You just see a blob of enemy units, you drop Heart of Winter. We put her on a horse so she can move back and forward to get away from the threats and to get to where she needs to drop that Heart of Winter. Now we need some reactionary force, so we need something that we can now reach out and hit far points with and go from there. So we're going to grab a couple of Winged Lancers and a couple, maybe we can't get a couple. No, a couple of Winged Lancers and maybe a War Sled. We'll go the heavy variety, just for the survivability. And then we have 450 gold left. We can add another Kossar, which gives us capture weight, or we could add another Kosovo Dervish, which gives us more mobility. Capture weight is the priority, number one most important thing in the game, so we're going to do that. And there we go. That looks like a pretty decent generic starting force that we can bring up against most enemy factions. So we're going to save that as Kislev. Oh, that's a search field. It's a file name. Let's call it. We'll put some A's at the front so it goes at the top. Or can we do an underscore? Kislev generic starter, something along those lines. Okay, for our reinforcing army, we can probably add a few things in here, but this is going to be where we have to get a little bit more matchup specific. So we're going to want more Cossars, but the type of Cossars is going to depend upon our opponent. So we'll start with the cheapest one. We'll start with the basic Cossars. We're going to want some more units to reach out and strike other points. We might grab a couple of leopards and a little grom, and now we've hit the ranged cap, which is completely fine. We might grab a couple more Winged Lancers, and as you can see, we're starting to reach our limit of a couple of different units. This is something that does happen for Kislev quite often because they have a cap on ranged units, and each unit has individual caps. So what else can we do here? We have a little bit of gold left over. We've sort of got plenty of mobility now to reach out and hit the other points with the Winged Lancers, the little Grom, the heavy War Sleds, the two Leopards. We've got a cheap resilient Lord in Castalton. We've got plenty of capture weight here. What we could actually do in this situation, we could add some Griffin Legion, we could add some Warbear Riders, could add another Snow Leopard, could add some Zargard with great weapons. I think we're going to leave those points free and modify what we're bringing. No, it doesn't put it to the top. Maybe we'll go an A at the start. See if that does it. Yeah, there we go. I put it at the top. So we'll start with this, and we'll spend that 2,800 on other units as we depending on the matchups. So there we go. We've got a basic Kislev army. Looks pretty generic. Should be good against most opponents. So let's go and see if we can find a match and modify it depending on our matchup and see how we go. Now, because the list is starting fairly generic, you can't expect it to be specifically tailored for every opponent straight away. That's something that you'll learn as you build the list. You'll modify it slightly for each different faction. So if you have a look in my saved armies, you'll see that I have a Cathay list for pretty much every faction and a couple of them as well. So as I play games as Cathay against different factions, I'd modify the list so I can try and tweak it to be able to manage whatever the enemy faction might happen to be bringing. Okay, so we've found a match. You can see his name's Pack. We don't know anything about him. We're on the Silver Spire. Specific things that we need to know for this map. Basically, you got the capture points at the back, which are relatively safe. You can actually spawn on either side, but most of your fighting is going to be in the middle on this one. So we're going to lock in our Kislev. He's going Tzeentch, so we'll load our generic army. Why can't I load my generic army? That's it's interesting. Well, I don't know why that's not letting me load. He's locked in on us, so let's quickly... Oh, was it because I was on the wrong one down there? Nope. Okay. Don't know why that's not letting me load, so we'll quickly redo our army. So we had her on a horse, simply with Heart of Winter. We had a bunch of these guys. A couple of these, we had one of these, and we had him. Reinforcing army, we had a couple of them, we had one of him. Now against Tzeentch, you probably want to go with the Cossars with spears, and you do want to bring some armor piercing range. So we'll put a Streltsy in there, so we'll upgrade one of our units. We want a couple of Zargar with shields because they're resilient against everything that Tzeentch can bring. We have 250 gold spare. We have no characters here. We could potentially upgrade one of these. No. We could have... No, it would have been too much as well. So what I was looking for there was things that I could potentially have upgraded for the 250 gold. So I was looking to see if I could upgrade the Cossars into Streltsy, or if I could upgrade the Winged Lancers into Griffin Legion, that sort of thing. But it didn't look like we had enough gold, and having 250 gold left over in your reserves is completely fine. You're not going to have all your reserves out at once at a point where 250 gold difference is going to matter. Okay, so this is a fairly generic army into Tzeentch. If we were going to make it more specific, we certainly could have. I would definitely have brought quite a different build, but this should do okay because we've tried to go fairly generic here. Our strategy is going to be exactly what we've talked about in the introductory video. We're going to send the majority of our force to the main point here. We'll probably try and form up here so we can have a bit of a fight with Tzeentch in the middle, and we're going to send something down to capture point 3. So let's get 4. Actually, we can just send our Cossars with bows down there. We'll get all of these guys in guard mode. So we're putting them in guard mode because they have a ranged attack. As we can see down here, they've got a ranged attack. They will fire their pistols, and you can see their pistol damage might be less than their range, their melee damage, but they don't have to roll against melee defense to shoot with their pistol. So it's best to use up that ammunition. So that's going to be our primary group, and chariots will be our second group. Winged Lancers will be our third group. Cossars can be our fourth group. They're just going to go up here. Their job's just going to be to cap that point. Castoughton by itself, and you go up here as well. And alright, that should be reasonably good. Okay, alright, let's see how we go. So let's get Armoured Cossars up first. Get these guys in there first. Move them up. Move the chariot up. Get the heroes up into the woods. And let's go see what our opponents brought. Bunch of Chaos Furies. couple of Spawn, a couple of Forsaken, Pink Horrors, and a Herald of Metal with Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust. So he's prepared for a Chariot blob with that character there, and with the Chaos Furies. Does have a fair bit of armor on the ground with the Forsaken, so we're going to need to bring in our armor piercing. Which, did we bring much armor piercing? We've brought the Streltsy. We don't really need the Leopards, so let's bring in the Streltsy and the Kossar with Spear and bring them up here. Make sure they're in guard, which they are. Heavy war sleds do need to watch out for that Herald, because if it comes too close and has its armor stripped, it could be in a bit of trouble, but we want to get the guns shooting at the Forsaken to start with. So they're going to be down there, they'll cap that point quite nicely. Keep our eyes on these Furies. Not too stressed about Furies. They don't really have good targets against Kislev. So we'll move them there and get our capture weight up onto the point. And get them onto the point as well. Now with these Spawn, we do want to bring some of our anti-large in, so we're going to bring in our Leopards. Now they're starting to get into range. Getting a bit of damage here onto the Forsaken. Now we might go for a... Oh no, we're going to wait. We'll try and get these around the back. Keep that fire going on. There's another Leopard. Put the Leopards in a group. Yeah, just keep shooting at those Forsaken. I'm not going to charge them in because I don't want them to get caught out by... Okay, we're going to shoot there. We'll shoot there. He's backed away, so we're going to move one of these up into here. Keep you moving back. Keep you facing that way. Come up that way. Okay, let's see if we can flank the cavalry round, and now once they all group up, so we can see they're all starting to come in, we're going to wait till we can overcast Heart of Winter, which costs 80. So get those Leopards onto the Spawn, kill them off guard mode, get those Chariots into there, get you into there, and where can we hit? Got a good blob there. Get some more Winged Lancers into this fight. Okay, these Winged Lancers go into the Pink Horrors. One of them can go into the back here of these Forsaken. These Chariots have dealt well with that, so they're still facing that way. You shoot into there. Turn and shoot into there. Activate your heal, because we can see here these Kossars are taking a bit of damage, but it's not be too much of an issue. Switch onto that Lord. These War Sleds want to move around. We might actually send them down there to deal with those Forsaken, because we've sort of got this fight in the middle under control. Get another unit of Kossars just down the back here, just in case. Keep the cavalry moving. Keep them fighting the Spawn. Get you in to fight the Spawn as well. Okay, we don't have any other blobs forming here. Keep the fire on that Lord up the top. Keep the fire going into there. There's Chariots in the back. What do we have coming in as reinforcements? Heaps of Horrors coming in. Alright, let's get some Zargard. Nice resilient unit. They'll be able to help us hold the point now that we've secured it. Let me get one of the Leopards over to this flank. You guys come up there. Spawn are pretty much under control. Let's get the Cav, all three of them. And we'll start doing some hit and run on these. Okay, these are Chaos Knights, so the Streltsy are going to be required for that. You can go home. Alright, now. That's a Final Transmutation, that's going to hurt a little bit. Let's get the Leopards in there. Get some shooting. Get one Winged Lancer charging in. Get them shooting. Didn't I send you home? I swear I sent you home. Okay, the Leopard's engaged. Yep. Stoughton can use his heal. Now let's get these cavalry moving in on these Blue Horrors. Get that moving back in. Get the other Zargard coming. It's going to be a big blob. See if we can avoid it. No. Get the heal going down. Still waiting for our... I'm sure I sent you home. Multiple times. Multiple times. Okay, those knights are dealt with. We're down a leopard. Is that another one coming in? It is another one coming in. No, it's the same one. Okay, we got some screamers. Let's just back away. Get some more cav. Cycle charge this cav. We have an exalted flamer at the back. What can we deal with that? Where's our leopards? Okay, leopard can try and do that. You come back. You guys just shoot. Keep fighting there. What are these Streltsy doing? Facing the wrong way. Shoot those knights. Get those Guardian. Why are you standing still? I could swear I told you to move up, but maybe I didn't. We've lost that unit, that's fine. Not too worried there. Okay, we have a bit of an opening here. We'll send one Wing Lancer in, the other one can tie up these blue horrors. I think I lost the leopard. You keep fighting there, you keep shooting in there. Streltsy are taking care of that. Zargard will come in. Let's replace the leopard. Come on, Zargard, keep going in there. Okay, get onto there. Yeah, it's going to die. Get more capping weight in, so we'll just keep bringing in armoured Cossars. We got a good lead at the moment. What do we have? Okay, let's get onto these blue horrors. Dealt with the armour, so now let's shoot the Lord. Just coming another exalted flamer. Let's get onto that. Cavalry, come around this way. Streltsy, shoot up there. Okay, we've got enough for a normal Heart of Winter, but I don't want to use a normal Heart of Winter just yet. We got spawn, okay. Let's keep cycle charging if we can. Get into there. More Zargard coming up. Okay, cycle charge back down here. What's this? Armoured Cossars. That's going to be a final trans mutation. Let's see if we can avoid it. Avoided a little bit of it. Okay. Streltsy, can you shoot in there? One more mana and we'll have enough to cast the Heart of Winter. And there we go. What are we going to do? Let's just drop it there. Okay, let's look at the damage. We're a bit behind on damage, but that's fine. We're in front on points. Let's get some more Cossars. We might send these ones down the back. And again, I could swear I told you guys to move up there. I don't know if I'm having issues with orders or what. Okay, get in there and fight them. Where's Castalton? Drop your heel. Get onto that. Get onto that. Get in there. Just fight whatever you can. Get the capture weight on the point. So we don't have to worry about trying to fight off the Screamers. We do want to fight them, but... Okay, Streltsy, just shoot in. Yep, I want you guys coming down there. We got 2 units here. Let's get one up here. What are you? You're a weak unit. We'll send you home. Let's get more of... Am I really that bad with my units today? It is early in the morning. Right, you're out of heals. Get onto that exalted flamer. Keep shooting in there. Let's turn guard mode off. Fix them up. Okay, we have a spear unit. Let's get him that way. And we'll get the leopard in on that side as well. Okay, so we've hit 3,000. The breakpoint at 3,000 is 1,000. So we haven't reached a breakpoint, so we still have to hold on to 2 capture points here. These Zargard are a little bit too blobbed up, so we're going to pull one out. Get some more. Every time I look back, there seems to be a unit there that should be moving up. Okay, you guys are fine. You keep coming up this way. Now we're just keeping this unit back because we don't want to get burnt by that flamer. It doesn't matter if this mage dies. We don't have enough wins for another overcast Heart of Winter anyway, so if she dies we'll just do a normal Heart of Winter. Okay, get you to fall back, get you into there, you come up there, you can charge on in. You might pull back a little, no, keep fighting the Exalted Flamers. You guys come this way and fight those pink horrors. You shoot those pink horrors. What happened to the unit I was handing out? Oh, that was you, wasn't it? Yeah, that was you. Streltsy, Nope, wrong button. Go home. Get the cavalry into the middle. Charge into there, actually. No, shoot there. Leopard fight there. Guard mode is annoying me. Let's turn guard mode off. Get you into that fight. Get you into that fight. How are we going now? We've hit a cap. We've hit the break point there. So if I've hit 3,000, he needs to be on 3,000 to have a chance to cap. So we are now at the point where we can win off a single cap. So let's just get some chariots in. They'll attract some attention. We're going to keep his attention focused on point 2 now that we've passed that break point, because we still own point 3. And for him to want to take point 3 is going to be kind of difficult at this point, so long as we can keep the attention here. And he's withdrawn. So we've managed to win with a fairly generic army by fighting over the middle, holding onto the sides, and maintaining that pressure until we are able to get to those breakpoints. So once you hit those breakpoints, that's when you know you can back off the pressure a little bit. So let's have a look at the gold value. I am going to do a little bit more information on gold value because this does not tell the whole story. Gold value is lying to you, basically, but we'll go through it anyway because it is fun to look at. So Consultant, you'd say he hasn't made his value back, but he has. Same with the chariots. I mean, they may not have actually made their value, but I think tactically they did. Same with these guys. So all this stuff hasn't made its gold value back, but yet we won the game. So what does that mean? Nothing made its value back. Does that mean that I shouldn't bring any of them? No. It means that you don't win with gold. Look at that. Herald of Tzeentch got heaps of value. That was those really good final transmutations that he managed to cast. And let's have a look at the other things. So not much on either side got their value back. The Screamers did. That's because they jumped on the chariots and I kind of just left them there. And blues are cheap. They're pretty much always going to make their value regardless of what they're fighting. Alright, so there we go. So we built a quick generic army for Kislev. We took it into a battle on ranked and we actually managed to jag a win with it on our first go. So hopefully that's given you some ideas on how to build an army as Kislev, the basics on what you can take as a generic starting force, a little bit of insight onto how you build one against Tzeentch in particular, and from there it's just now a matter of learning the different factions, modifying the army as you win or lose depending on how you think it went. So if I was going to take this army against Tzeentch again, I'd probably drop these Cossars. I don't know if regular Cossars are really going to be worth it here. I'd probably also drop the heavy war sleds against Tzeentch because they have a lot of pretty good answers to them. And personally, I'm not a fan of Heart of Winter. I prefer Tempest Magic so I can get the speed boost, the ranged boost, and the Hawks of Miska I really quite like against pretty much all demonic factions. So it is a little bit more micro intensive, and I would probably bring that as my lord and just bring a regular Patriarch to run around with the leopards. I'd probably bring a triple leopard squad. I wouldn't bother with the little Grom, as shown by the fact I didn't even summon it against Tzeentch, so I'd probably drop that completely. I'd probably put some Zargard into the initial army, so once I've dropped one of the casters out, I would have a third leopard with the Patriarch in reserve, and only bring it in if I see the Chaos Knights or a Soul Grinder or something big that I need the armor-piercing anti-large units for. I'd keep the Winged Lancers. Winged Lancers are really good in this matchup, even though, you know, you see that they don't have gold value, but the fact that they are able to tie up and do shock damage, cause units to break with flank and rear charges, it all is a lot more valuable than the raw physical damage that they can do. The Exalted Flamers are actually a good target for the Panthers, the Leopards as well. And there you have it, yeah, so I might have actually... Like, you could swap out Winged Lancers for Griffin Legion in this matchup because Tzeentch doesn't have a huge amount of anti-large. And you could even try out Ice Guard. Ice Guard do quite well here too. But yeah, there's a lot you can do in this particular matchup, but this was just to demonstrate bringing a generic army, lots of capture power, some mobility. Not a very good map for showing off the mobility, because you can see that most of the fighting was around the single point, but we were able to use our mobility to get into his backline, flanking around the outside, and if we had needed to, we could have pushed into his point or easily relocated back to our point to defend it, but we managed to keep pressure on the middle, which in the end was what won us the game. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions, please post them down in the comments so we can discuss and learn more, and we'll see you in the next one.